Start off with some belly breathing. We're gonna breathe in for a 5 count, hold for a 5 count, exhale for a 5 count, and repeat. Call this a box breathing technique. It's a good way to kind of get your heart rate down and de-stress. Breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I want you to try to keep that breathing cadence the whole time. We're going to start off with the hip flexor stretch here. I can't really see your questions, so I'll just do my best to respond periodically. So we're going to have our right knee down, left leg forward, our hips are stacked, knees and ankles aligned. I like to use this foam roller for balance because I'm a big guy. I'm going to again breathe through my nose. We're going to breathe and do a couple of rounds. Breathe in. Try to do nasal breathing only. You guys can follow along if you have a foam roller, or you can just do it without the foam roller. I like to kind of help center me a little bit. Now we're going to go into an inline lunge here. So I'm driving my knee out. It's going to help my squat position. I'm going to, again, keep my chest proud. Again, you guys could follow along. If you have more flexibility, you guys can bring your palms to the ground. That's a little bit tight for me, so I'm going to just stay here for now. I'd like you guys to follow along if you can. Now we're going to go into a hamstring stretch. Really important we do nasal breathing during this time. Pretty sore from doing a lot of good mornings yesterday, so this feels pretty good. Now we're gonna do our hip rotators. So we're gonna get like a pigeon type stretch. So I'm gonna show you here, so I'm getting like a figure 4 with my leg. Okay. So I'm trying to keep my hips square to the floor. Trying my best to get a good camera angle and also read your comments. If you guys enjoy the yoga poses, you guys could send some hearts. Now I'm going to go into my shin box. I'm going to let go of the, so I'm going to have figure 4 here. I'm going to try to prop myself up. So I want to get as square as I can. Nasal breathing. So this is just good stuff to just de-stress and relax. It's not gonna like really make you get stronger, but it's gonna help with your recovery. Now I'm gonna stretch my quads. I'm just gonna sit. So some of you guys may just wanna sit here. That might be enough. I'm stretching my ankles and my quads. I'm gonna take the roller. I'm gonna get a little bit of a deeper stretch. I'm gonna lift my chest. When I do this second round, I'll show you a different angle with this. So I'm lifting my chest proud, breathing in through my nose, exhaling fully. Now I'm going to do a frog pose. So I'm trying to spread my groin. I never knew how awkward this could be. So right now I'm trying to spread my groin apart. But again, keeping my pelvis in a good position. So my right hip's a little cranky, so I'm just trying to work that out a little bit. Again, breathing, nasal breathing as much as you can. Okay. Now we're going to switch sides. So we're going to go back to the beginning. So now I'm going to bring this foot up. Again, hips are like headlights. They're nice and stacked. Nasal breathing. You guys can follow along if you're at home. You want to de-stress a little bit. I'm trying to stretch this hip here. Go to the next motion. If you guys want to extend the stretch a little bit, I can go fingertips to the ground or palms to the ground. That's too much for me, so I'm going to come back here. Shove my knee out. This is a good stretch to kind of open up your hips. Joni, I'm going to try to read your question once I get a little closer.
John, dumbbells, flat.
Here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to move on to the pigeon, see if I can see the question. This was my question. So yoga can be beneficial for people that lift. Yeah, so it depends. So I like yoga for down regulation. I don't like yoga like right before you lift. You want to be inherently tight before you squat and before you deadlift. But yoga has its place. So if you notice, like these are very basic positions, but especially something like this is going to help like a sumo deadlift, help a wider squat. So you have to be more precise. You don't want to do random yoga moves. A lot of twisting of the back is not going to be, in my opinion, very beneficial for powerlifting. We have a lot of yoga related videos on our channel. So like this position in particular is just called a shin box. For a sumo deadlifter or a wide squatter, I find this extremely, extremely beneficial. So all these poses are more, have the powerlifter in mind. You don't really want a lot of flexibility in like the low back. You want that to be stiff as a powerlifter. But you do want mobility in the hips, the ankles, and the upper back. So you don't necessarily want too much. You want your shoulders to be stable, so you don't necessarily want them to be too mobile or too unstable. So you want strength and stability and mobility. Each joint's going to be a little bit different. So Joni, I hope that answers your question. We have some other videos on yoga for powerlifting on our YouTube channel as well. So I would check those out. But yeah, I think for down regulation, I like doing yoga on an off day. I like doing it, I'm trying to get into it a little bit more. I usually do it at least once a week. I'm trying to get back in the habit. We used to have a yoga teacher. She's no longer with us, but she's doing great things. She's just working at a yoga studio now, not a powerlifting gym. So I would like to get somebody in here at some point when we're able to. But for now, you're gonna have to settle for my chubby little self, doing some poses for the big guys. And I'm gonna come here. So I'm gonna show a different angle for this one this time. So this is good to stretch my quads and my chest. So again, these are not, all these stretches are maybe like a 3 out of 10 in discomfort. They shouldn't be really aggressive. You should be able to relax. I'm using this as a relaxing tool, not as a workout. So now I'm gonna do my frog. So I'm just showing you guys a different angle. Trying to get my body in here, so I'm trying to drag these out, get my hips, my pelvis. So just like a sumo deadlifter wants to get their pelvis close to the bar, I'm trying to get my hips close to the ground while keeping good. So this would be a great position to be in before bed, like before a sumo deadlifter, wide stance squatter. Trying to make my spine neutral here, so I'm not trying to arch my back. I'm trying to neutralize my back and get the range of motion from my hip and not my spine. So we just went through the full rotation. So if you guys are just joining us, I'll go through the full rotation a little bit faster. We started with the hip flexor stretch, regular lunge. Then we brought it down to a lower level. As you can see, my mobility is getting a little bit better, that I'm stretched a little bit more. I'll show this from a different angle as well. So that's the second part, lifting my chest, I'm not hunched, lifting my chest proud, dragging my knee out. Then we do the hamstring stretch. So I want to try to flex my quad. So I'm getting my calf and my hamstring stretched here. Then I did my pigeon. So I did my high pigeon pose. So I'll show that from a couple different angles. So I'm going through this a little faster now, so you guys, if some people missed. Then I went to my shin box, so it's a lower level. So I'm getting external and internal rotation. And I did that on both sides. So just to keep it even. Again, hip flexor, drop it down, drop it down. So it's a nice flow, and you can do this with or without a foam roller. No equipment needed. This would be great before bed, great on an off day. I want to try and do nasal breathing only. And usually in between, after I go through that in between, I'll do some, I don't know if it's like a camel pose or whatever, but I'm just sitting on my heels here, stretching my chest and my quads. And then I like to really do these frogs here, especially because I'm a sumo deadlifter. I cheat going with the wide stance. So a couple other things that you could do after you go through the sequence, like a child's pose, you could do with or without a roller. So I can adjust my width depending on what I want to work. Breathing into my belly. Next thing I want to show is some things against the wall. How long? Usually, it depends on how anxious I am. I try to do like a 3 to 5 count breath. So I do a couple of cycles of like you could do like some box breathing. All right, Rizzo, we're doing yoga right now, so I'm not talking about weightlifting, but you could save that question for another time. But I would start with bodyweight squats, push-ups. We have a lot of videos on our YouTube channel. So Rizzo, shoot me a DM and I'll send you a link to beginner lifting videos. So a couple of things against the wall are gonna be good. I'm gonna show you guys some examples. This is a waterfall with wall support. I'm hoping you guys can see me okay. So I'm not super flexible, so I can't get my butt all the way to the wall, but this is a really good thing. If you have like lower back tightness, I can go wide here. I want to stretch my groin a little bit, let the blood flow down my back. So I've been doing a lot of inner thigh and hamstring work, so this feels really good right now. I can just hang out here and breathe into my belly. So you can go against the wall and do this and join me. You can come here. As I get a little bit more flexible, I can move a little bit closer to the wall. So it's really important that we de-stress during this chaotic time, that we can unwind and relax. Breathing into the belly, nasal breathing only. I'm gonna come here now. I can bring my arms overhead if I'd like. So that's some great things that you could do. Now, if you don't have a wall, you could just lie down on your back and just do some belly breathing. I'm going to elevate my feet for the final position. This is if you're going to do one thing before bed, one thing to down regulate. You want to nasal breathe. You want to lie on your back and have your feet elevated and kind of be upside down. Those are like the best ways to down regulate. So I'm going to combine all three with this drill. So I'm going to elevate, you can use a couch If you have lower back pain, lower back tightness, this is going to be really helpful as well. So I'm elevating my heels, I'm kind of just neutralizing. I'm slightly tucking my pelvis under. I'm going to use this to make sure I'm locking my position in, driving my knees in, reaching around, breathing into my low back. I can have my hands here or hands relaxed. You can do some forceful exhales here. This is like a 90-90 breathing drill. Really great way to cool down after a workout or right before bed. If you're feeling anxious, let's breathe in for a 5 count. Hold. Exhale. Let's do a couple of rounds of that. Breathe in for 5, hold for 5, exhale for 5, and repeat. All right, so that's some really easy ways that you could down-regulate when you're having a stressful time. I hope this helped you. If this live yoga session was helpful for you, let me know. We'll do another one at some point. We'll go over some more drills. I'll try to do a little bit better with the camera angle. But if this did help you, please share it with a friend, let a friend know about us. And until next time, namaste, strong. Thank you guys for being here. We're gonna get through this together. Let's keep forging forward one day at a time. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.